Hey everyone, it's Andy here from Saving to Invest, and I'm just going to talk about one of the most common topics during tax season, which is the PATH Act, affecting tax refunds for millions of Americans who claim the Earned Income Tax Credit or the Additional Child Tax Credit. So I'll provide an update on what this is, when the PATH refund freeze will be released, and what you can expect to see in your tax transcript. As always, if you find the information here, please hit the like button and subscribe to get more videos like this. So also remember that the PATH Act is actually mandated by law. It's not the IRS's fault that your not refund is not being released and or you're not getting paid, right? And you'll be seeing these messages in the various refund status tools. And basically, for any taxpayers claiming the earned income tax credit and additional child tax credit, their entire return on and their refund is going to be frozen until the PATH Act is lifted later in February, and then payments are made after that. And the main reason is that these credits, a lot of them are refundable, which means you can still get paid even if you don't have a tax liability and or you have dependents that you're claiming that are potentially claimed by multiple people or subject to fraud, as has been seen over the last few years. This forced Congress to act and implement the PATH Act to reduce the amount of fraud they saw around these tax credits specifically. So this is why it's frozen. The IRS is able to do more validation and verification checks, and then they release the refund. So it shouldn't delay processing, it just delays the refund payment. So for the current tax year, the IRS has already released guidelines on when the PATH Act will be lifted for those claiming the Earned Income Tax Credit or the Additional Child Tax Credit, which is different to the standard child tax credit. And I'll have a video on that, which I'll post here. You can see a link and it'll be in the description below. But generally speaking, if you've claimed these tax credits and your tax return is held up due to the PATH Act, you will get paid after February 28th. So this is when you'll hit the direct when you your direct deposit will hit your bank account if you filed online. If you got paper check, it could take a bit longer. It also assumes that the rest of your return is okay and that the IRS found no issues with your return. Now, like I said earlier, the IRS is still processing returns even though the PATH Act is not lifted. So they're able to update your status by February 18th. So those who filed early, their return was processed, but the IRS cannot make the refund payments until the PATH Act is lifted, should see their status updated in WMR by February 18th, a few days before, and then by February 28th, they should get their refund. Now, this may happen a few days earlier. Look at your refund cycle code. You can see WMR. Some people are just processed early. So they do occasionally have people who get them early, but that's more the exception than the rule. So generally, Feb 18th is when you'll see a status. Feb 28th is when people start getting paid, and it will take a few weeks to clear the backlog. Of course, if there's issues with your tax refund, you will still get a notice, and the IRS will send you, a request for more information, and that could delay your refund further. But they will continue processing things, so it should not, delay it exceptionally long like we saw the last few years. The IRS also has more staff, so they're hopefully processing things a little faster as well. So just to recap again, for those people seeing these messages like here, which is the IRS standard message that says your refund is being held up due to the PATH Act, you should start seeing updates by February 18th of this year, maybe a few days later or earlier, with refund payments starting by February 28th for those especially who did direct deposit as their payment option, which the IRS recommends, and then paper checks will follow a few days or a week later. Again, they'll continue to be paid in the standard IRS refund cycle after that, and I'll post a link to that below. But this is sort of the schedule. So mid-February, Feb 18th, you should start seeing status updates, and then from Feb 20th, you should start getting refund payments into bank accounts for those that have been processed successfully by the IRS. So just wanted to quickly give a look at these tax credits and processing on your transcript. So a lot of folks who filed early may want to go check if their actual tax credits were processed, and then all they're doing is having to wait for their refund. So this is an example from a recent tax season. So if you filed, go pull your transcript down. It's free from the IRS. It's updated daily or different cycles, but you can generally see if it's processed if you see the 766 or the 768 code. The 768 is generally for the earned income tax credit, so look for that. The other tax credits may be 766. A negative number is good. It means you're getting paid. So you'll see these lines on your transcript if the IRS has finished processing your tax return. Now, these lines will probably have a 04 or 15 date. Those don't mean anything. It's just a standard system date. What you really care about is the 846 refund issued code line. This is the date that the IRS is saying a refund is issued. Now, this may not pop up until after February 18th when the IRS has confirmed the payment date, but sometimes people may see this earlier and at least it can give them relief that the refund is going to be issued. A lot of times this is a future date because cycles, IRS processes things in cycles. So they put dates on that could be a week out based on your processing cycle if you're daily or weekly. And I talk about refund cycles in a separate video, which I'll post a link to here. It's in the description as well. But generally, this can give you an indication of that your tax return is processed and your refund is paid, which is a good sign because what can happen sometimes is you may get a code 570 or 971, which is a notice is issued. So that means the IRS needs more information, which could delay your refund payment. So your transcript just provides you a way of seeing some of this information before you actually get paid. But again, use your WMR status to get the latest status and payment date, and then use your transcript as sort of a secondary option. I'll post some more links to more transcripts and more articles that talk about this in more detail. But if this information was useful to you, please hit the like button, subscribe, and you can also join our community if you want to keep getting more exclusive videos and join our live streams. Thanks. Bye-bye.